Hey friends, I'm Jamie Maddox, your wealth embodiment mentor. I teach how you are uniquely designed to attract wealth. In this podcast, I talk about body mapping and money. Body mapping is a unique map on your body that gives information, instructions, and direction for you specifically. Each episode, I highlight one area of the body, discuss its features, and more importantly, what that means for you and your money. So welcome. I'm excited to be on this journey together and can't wait to see what your body can teach you about money. All right, welcome back and welcome to another episode of Your Nose Knows. Okay, this week we are talking about trusting yourself with your money decisions. So first, I just want you to take a second and ask yourself, have I ever made a money decision that I doubted or that I questioned or that I wondered, was that good? Was that bad? Was that, stupid? Was it whatever the words you used with yourself, okay? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, I think all of us have probably had that experience, okay? Now, this is not a time to put you into shame and to, make you spiral on any financial decisions that you may or may not regret at this point, okay? But what this is that we're talking about the digestive system today. And our digestion is actually all about decision making. And the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this episode is to step into a place of trusting yourself with money and with money decisions. Okay, now some of you are like, I have a lot of evidence that I cannot be trusted with money, or that doesn't work for me, okay? I know there's a lot of things coming in your head. There's a lot of excuses. There's probably a lot of experiences, collectively that would quote unquote indicate that you can't be trusted with money. But here's the thing. We're going to shift that because until you truly step into trusting yourself and believing that you can trust yourself with money, money's going to struggle coming to you and wanting to be with you long-term and in your presence, okay? And our digestive system, so when you think about the digestive system, so we've got food, right? We put it in our mouth, okay? Our teeth help break it down. They break down the food into smaller bites, okay? Now, let me pause here for 1 second. If I went in depth, there are literally 10 different organs that are involved in the digestive process. I'm not going to go into all 10 organs, okay? So, just know that, again, we are doing it on the Reader's Digest version because I love that magazine, first off. And I like things short, sweet, to the point, and let's just get the info, get going and have action and see movement, okay? Because results, transformation, that is so beautiful, and it can be easy and it can be fast, okay? So just know there's a lot of organs involved in the digestive system. We're going to just focus on a few of them, okay? So we put the food in our mouth, we break it down. So when we're thinking about decisions, we input that decision, we break it down, okay? And then we swallow, so the food goes down and it goes into the stomach. And this is where we really get to decipher and categorize, like what is nutrients? Like what are the things that are going to nourish the body? What are things that are so synthetic that they're really not that good for our bodies, but somehow we tend to kind of keep eating some of those things, okay? So our body's kind of like, I don't even know what to do with this. And then it's like, okay, this is waste. This is, this is going to go hydrate our cells. This is going to go help replenish X, Y, and Z in the body, okay? So our stomach is this really big sorting center, basically. And so now going back to our decisions, when we have decisions, there's this whole process of sorting, deciphering, of seeing what's valuable to nourish us, what is waste that just needs to be released and let go, what are the things that are going to help us keep going. Now, in science, a lot of times they'll call the stomach your first brain, okay? Because our brain and our stomach are connected by the vagus nerve. And meaning that a lot of times when we are sitting in our head and ruminating and thinking and over processing all these different things, a lot of times our stomach will hurt, okay? So, check in with yourself. if you're someone that deals with maybe some chronic stomach issues, this could be one of the reasons, okay, because you're over processing, you're overthinking your decisions, you're not just trusting that your body, just like your body knows how to sort and decipher and knows what to do with food in a healthy, powerful body, okay? Obviously, there are caveats with certain disorders, right? But in a normal, healthy body, your body knows what to do with the food naturally, okay? So in our decision making, what if we could trust ourselves that we actually knew how to make really good decisions? And if we don't feel like we're at that point right now, that there's skills that can be learned. There are things that we can learn about ourselves that can help us trust our decisions more quickly and more fully. One of those things that I absolutely love to use is human design, because all of us have a very innate way that we make decisions. And when we fully understand that about ourselves, specific for us, it just helps us to trust. Because for me, like, I always knew that, like, I pretty much instantly knew a yes or no answer. But people were like, oh, you didn't think about it. You didn't, take your time to really weigh out the pros and cons. I'm like, I know, but I just know that's the right answer. And it's right for me. I don't know what your answer is, but for me, that's the right answer. Okay. But after getting questioned, and this is not blaming anybody, I mean, I've done it to people too, right? And so, but sometimes with those questions, it kind of made me start to doubt myself. And still to this day, there are times where I start doubting some of the decisions I've made or that I'm in the process of making, when really, for me, with my human design and a bunch of other factors, I know that my initial body reaction, whether it's a yes or a no, is the right answer for me. And so I get answers very quickly. And that's unnerving for a lot of people, okay? But here's the thing. If I start to think about it, you better believe I get some digestive issues, okay? Because my body's like, you are not meant to overthink and overprocess every single decision in your life. You were meant to just know. And I'm like, oh yeah, wow, fascinating. It's amazing how my body keeps talking to me and teaching me, right? Okay. But it can feel unnerving sometimes to just trust yourself. Okay. So the other way that I want to kind of relate this is, so if you know me, you know that I absolutely love flying in any form, whether that is large planes, small planes, skydiving, paragliding, parasailing. I can't even think of any of the others right now, but pretty much anytime that I am ziplining, like anytime that I'm soaring through the air with like wind in my face and like this whole body freedom, like I love the free fall, I love the movement, I love it all. Okay. So for my 30th birthday, I decided to go paragliding. That was my gift to myself. And I wanted to do it for a long time and finally was like, making it happen and taking the steps to have it happen. So there's a place here in Utah called the Point of the Mountain. And depending on the wind and time of day, they either jump off the north side or go off of the south side. So I did the north side. So, I was going tandem with, I was going to say the instructor. He's not the instructor. He's just the tandem guide. Anyway, so we're all strapped in. He's getting me all strapped in. I am lit up. I am so excited. Okay. And I remember, so he gets us all set up and, the wind's blowing. We've got this big old parachute thing, right? So it's a little tricky to navigate. And thankfully I was like, I'm just here for the ride. He's in charge. I'm safe. I'm good. Okay. And so, the wind's a little wild. But I distinctly remember him saying to me, he's like, okay, are you ready? And I was like, yep. He's like, okay, now we're going to run off the cliff. And literally, my friends, we just ran down the mountain and jumped off the cliff. Okay. And, it was such an interesting feeling because here's the thing. When I went skydiving, like, I was so excited to do it that, like, I was the first one out of the plane. I literally had my feet dangling out of the plane, with the tandem guy behind me. And they're like, whoa, like, you have to wait till the right time. Like, we have to be at the right place, and I'm like, okay, fine, but I'm so excited, right? But that was a little bit different because, you just kind of like fall out of the plane a little bit. Still highly recommend and super fun and exciting. But this was very interesting because it was a very deliberate decision of, I have to run off this cliff in order to get the momentum and the lift to fly, okay? And I was like, I remember just being like, well, good thing I'm a trusting person. Okay, so we start running and we take off, and the minute that we like jump off and let go, all of a sudden we start soaring. And oh, my friends, it is just like the best sensation, because here's a couple of cool things that I love about it. Number one, it is peaceful. And especially, like, that's what a lot of people say with the parasailing. They're like, it's so peaceful up here. I'm like, I know, because you actually get above all of the chaos and all the noise and all of the hustle and the bustle and all the things. And it's like there is this deep, deep peace that happens when you are just soaring above all of the daily life things. Okay. And I mean, I've given speeches and presentations on this and gone into a lot more detail because there's so much to be learned with just this one paragliding story. So if that's something you ever want me to come do or share more about, let me know. As I was really like tapping into like this episode and the digestion and everything, I was like, oh my goodness, this really relates to money, because how often do we have some sort of financial decision, okay, whether that's investing in ourselves or, choosing to go on a retreat or, maybe having to pay some big medical bills or buying a house or, moving or something. Okay. We all have big financial decisions at this point in our life. Okay. And we get to that point where it's like, okay, we either get to sit here and struggle with our parachute on the ground with this wind going crazy and feeling a little out of control, or we can get up and literally run off the cliff. And honestly, like, that sensation is very similar to me when I am making a big financial decision, because it's like this so much excitement and anticipation with a little bit of like, oh shit, I hope this works. Like, I hope I really am trusting the right thing. Right? Okay. But it's this really cool thing because I know that I can trust myself. And I want you to know that you can trust yourself. Okay. Because when you take that leap and you run off that cliff and you say, oh boy, hope this is going to work. And then you start soaring. Oh, and then you, like, your financial decisions, they get to work for you. They get to be things that actually lift you up, because it's the wind that actually helps us to rise. And that's why you have to run and let the parachute, gather all the wind in it to help you rise. But if we never took those steps to kind of feel like we're being crazy to run off a cliff, right? We wouldn't soar. So sometimes there's these financial things that seem so wild and out there. And honestly, you're like, oh, I know that I'm not going to talk to X, Y, and Z people about it because they so will not understand. And I support that. Choose who you talk to about this. But there are people that are like, yeah, do it. Bet on yourself. Take the risk, because what if you do soar? What if you have this incredible experience? And what if it is the exact thing that you are needing to bring peace into your life? And it just took that little bit of, okay, I guess we're doing this, right? To help you to start moving and moving forward and to have bigger leaps than anything that you could imagine possible. Because I can't even tell you how much that one paragliding experience changed things in my world. It was actually the thing that got me to divorce my ex-husband, which, like I said, there's a lot more to that story. But it was the thing. By choosing myself and saying, I want to have an incredible 30th birthday and I am going to choose me. And what do I really want to do? I want to go jump off a cliff and I want to go paragliding. And it actually led me to the best decision of my life, which was getting divorced. Okay. And so these things that sometimes just seem so far out there and so bizarre and so don't really make sense per se, I cannot tell you how often those are the exact things that your soul is needing and craving and yearning for and wanting, and is what's going to get you to where you actually really want to go. Okay. So I say all of this knowing that it does bring up emotions and sensations, and it can also be really easy and it can be really fun because, believe me, paragliding is fun, and it was worth every moment of like, oh, okay, right? So if you have a big financial decision coming up, or I'm sure a lot of you have seen that my Fiji retreat is coming up. It's May 14th through the 26th. And it is a financial investment. It's an investment in you. It's an investment in helping you be able to get to your next level, to get to your next ability to soar at higher levels than you have ever been able to soar at. And I can tell you story after story from my retreat participants about them getting money while we're there and having these beautiful things happen. Okay, but it does take a little bit of this risk. But I really want you to know that it's a calculated risk. Okay, I'm not asking you to be financially irresponsible. I don't believe in that. My tax accounting side cannot encourage financial chaos and irresponsibility. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do that, but I am asking you to trust yourself, to trust that you can and do make good decisions with money. And that when you do make good decisions with money and you bet on yourself and you invest in yourself, that it works out so beautifully and that it was absolutely worth the risk. And let me just put a caveat in here. This doesn't go away, okay? Because sometimes it's like, we want to be like, okay, well, I did it once. Phew, never have to have that sensation again. Fabulous. No, I recently made 2 really big investments into myself, again, because that's like the number one investment that I do is in myself. And I actually hadn't really planned. I definitely hadn't planned on the one I had been thinking about, but this other opportunity came up and I was like, wow, well, I definitely did not have that currently in my budget. And I was like, but I knew in my soul that it was the next right step for me. And so it was like, okay, we're going to trust myself, trust in my ability to make wise decisions and to know that this will get me to my next level. And so I ran off the cliff, my friends. and I am soaring, but it still takes it every level where we're at. We get to experience this. And you know what? I'm actually really grateful because how many times have I just said to you how fun it was to go paragliding and to run off that cliff? So part of me actually really loves that sensation and feeling. And it's part of kind of what makes me feel alive. Again, not that I'm going to go seek it every day per se, especially financially, but I'm like, no, I'm actually grateful that I get to have these feelings and these sensations and be like, yeah, I can continually choose myself. I can continually invest and I can continually trust my decisions and trust myself with money because our bodies teach us that. Our bodies know how to break things down, to decipher and decode, to absorb what nutrients are needed, to release and eliminate the waste that it doesn't need. And it does it all pretty seamlessly when we just kind of relax, in a relaxed state, let it do what it is meant to do. So I invite you to step into a place of beautiful trust this upcoming week. Trust with yourself, trust with your body, a deeper relaxation in this trust, and to just know that you are supported, to really step into believing that and reminding yourself of that. And again, that can happen with some tapping on your collarbone. If you start to kind of feel into this and you're like, this doesn't feel fun and exciting, this actually feels really anxiety ridden. Okay, that's where you just tap on your collarbone. No, I'm safe to make decisions. I'm safe to trust myself. I am smart and wise and I have support and I can always get more support. Money loves me. Money always comes to me. And I'm ready for more money. I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready to soar. I am ready to take this next beautiful leap and to let my life be so good because I deserve to be happy and I deserve so much goodness in my life. And then just take a deep breath in. Breathe in that joy like we talked about last week with the lungs. Okay, breathe in that life. Breathe in what you are really wanting to experience because, my friends, 2025 can be your most beautiful year yet because I guarantee that it's going to be my most beautiful year and I want many, many, many of you to come with me and have your most beautiful years, okay? So let me know if this resonated. Let me know your insights and ahas, and I hope you have an incredible, incredible week and an incredible week of trusting yourself. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening. Make sure to check back each week for the newest content about your body and your wealth. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends and give it a 5-star review. Make sure to visit healinghopewithjamie.com for new offers, retreats, and ways to embody your wealthy life.